Well, we're going to do a quick hack and pack on the bottom of this door because I did the other side of the door by, I didn't think it was that bad till I took it apart and I said, holy smokes, they basically glued this together with tar back in the, I guess, the late 80s. And this deal, it's not really, doesn't really look that rusty. It's probably a lot worse than you think though, but they stopped the rust with stuff like tar, basically. I think it was tar. So what I'm going to do with this hack and pack though, I'm going to use panel adhesive, not even epoxy. Panel adhesive is expensive though, but I'm also going to get on the inside of it again with rubberized undercoating. But the thing is, with panel adhesive, it's so freaking waterproof. Any plastic you put on it, it's not going to have a problem. It's going to stick a lot better. It's going to be a lot stronger than freaking epoxy resin gel. Like I have epoxy resin gel over here someplace, which this wouldn't be bad either. You know, if you're just going to fill something up, you don't want to fill it up with plastic because that'll bubble right up. This wouldn't be bad either. Not Duraglass, not Dynaglass, not Tiger Hairs, but just plain resin gel. That wouldn't be bad. But this is a lot cheaper than the panel adhesive, and it's still pretty damn good. But the panel adhesive, if you're going to do like a quick, just fill it up wrong way, that'll last you a gazillion years. Probably last longer than freaking car was brand new. Panel adhesive will never. It's got some flexibility to it. You slam the door, it's not going to crack. You can put it on there pretty thick. It's just that it's not cheap, man. A couple little tubes of it's about $40. But you know, you just only need a coat of it to seal it up, and then you can put plastic over it or something. That's the way I'm going to do it. Quick and dirty, and it'll last a long time. And that's exactly how I fixed this. I ground this down. I put chassis saver on it, then I ground it down, a lot of it, you know. And what I did was I put panel adhesive right over it. And you see what I did to keep the panel adhesive from running. I put masking tape over it. You can see that just peels right the hell off because the glue doesn't stick to it. And what that does is it keeps a nice smooth finish, right? Because this stuff takes 24 hours to dry, or at least 6 hours for it to get pretty kind of hard, where it's not going to run out. So now you can see this is fairly smooth. I can sand this down, and this will never. This shit got it. Like I said, it makes JB Weld look like nothing, and it's got a little bit of flexibility to it. It'll never crack in weather or nothing like that. It's freaking ridiculous. It's just that it's not cheap. It's not cheap, but if you're ever going to do like a hack and pack, just fill up a freaking hole, you know, this crap, even though it's expensive, it'll last you umpteen million years, man. Just as long as you got it ground down and it's chemically clean, because when I grind this down, I did was, I sprayed it down, after I ground it, I sprayed it with starting fluid, you know, ether, which cleans better than carburetor cleaner. Then I blew it off with air. And so this stuff sticks on there like crazy. And you can see a nice flat surface, you know. So I was doing this horizontal. Just put some masking tape over it. Body Shop ain't going to tell you this crap, man. I'm the MacGyver of do the crap wrong, but it's freaking better than actually the right way for its practical, you know, net result, you know. So this is a tip for the average working smokes type people. Okay, like I said, what I'm doing is I'm taking the grinding wheel and I'm grinding all around here, and I'm going to hammer this in a little bit. Now, I know the body man is going to say, holy shit, this is freaking horrible just to pack over that. You could do that actually even with fiberglass, but let me say this. Even if you use plastic, which would bubble up immediately if it got any water on the back of it, if you coated the inside of the plastic, don't do the plastic though, okay, don't do that. But the most important thing is if you coated the inside of the plastic with, you know, like a rubberized undercoating that kept it completely waterproof, or some kind of a epoxy paint or something, or primer and paint, it would actually keep, as long as the plastic didn't have water, get water absorbed into it, it wouldn't bubble up. Now, the panel adhesive is actually, like I said, far superior to even just plain epoxy gel resin. You could just put epoxy gel resin on this, fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow this out with air, because it's like rust in here, you know, as I'm grinding. You can see, you know, like this here, like if I'm doing this. You can see some rust coming out of it. I'm going to hit it with the air gun. But I'm going to get on the inside with it. After I fill it up, I'm going to pour chassis saver in there. Just pour it in there. That'll freaking seal the crap out of it. Then after that's dry, I'm going to hit it with rubberized undercoating. So in effect, this door is not going to go anywhere for freaking umpteen million years anyway. It's not going to ever rust out. It'll probably last longer than if it was properly treated with rust preventative and brand new with wax treatments. That's what's going to happen to it. Somebody's going to say it's wrong, but appearance wise it's going to look fine. And the other thing is, I'm just going to paint this with Rust-Oleum paint, which if you apply down here where the sun doesn't hit, Rust-Oleum is not going to actually screw up. It's not very good for UV protection, but way down here in the bottom, it's not going to really screw up. Now the other thing is, you could say it's not as chip resistant, but that's fine because you're going to get rocks on this crap anyway, because if I'm going to be driving this on dirt roads and crap with gravel, even if I could use much better paint that's more chip resistant, but no matter what paint you put on here, if gravel hits it, it chips. So I'd rather take a $4 can of Rust-Oleum and fix it with that crap than messing around with getting out the spray gun and mixing up paint and all this other bullshit, right? You know what I'm saying? So you'll see what I mean. This is like what you call the wrong method that's going to provide results that last umpteen years, because this panel adhesive is some wild shit, man. It's just that it's expensive, but I don't need too much of it for this. And even though it's on the bottom of this door where it's all loose like this, it's designed for gluing on rocker panels and quarter panels and door skins. It's that strong. This is not gonna go anywhere, man. Not in a million years. And it's totally impervious to water. Even if I don't coat the inside of it, the panel adhesive will never absorb water and bubble up, including epoxy resin gel. If you use Tiger Hairs, Duraglass, Dynaglass, or Bondo Glass, that stuff doesn't bubble up itself, but water can permeate through it because it has a little bit of powder in it, like a talcum powder, like the plastic. Even though the Dynaglass won't be affected, if you put plastic over that, the plastic itself will bubble up because somehow the Dynaglass is somewhat porous, even though the Dynaglass doesn't get freaking screwed up. Epoxy gel resin, you're okay, but I'm not even using that. I'm using panel adhesive, which is even much better. So this will be strong as a rock. We're going to clean it off. We're going to blow it out with air. We're going to clean it off with ether starting fluid, which will be really chemically clean. We're going to hammer it in a little bit so we can get a coat on there. And when I put the coat on it, since it's on an angle like this, it'll try to run out. That's where we're going to put the masking tape over it, which is going to give you a nice smooth finish where it's not going to require too much sanding, and it's going to keep it all in there. Quick and dirty, huh? But you know what? This is for you guys out there, man. This is some tip you're not going to get from nobody except this kid right here. So like I said, I know how to do shit that's wrong, but will last a gazillion years, probably better than if you did it right. Okay, after grinding this down, I sprayed it down with ether. Like I said, this stuff actually, you know, you think, well, we can't do that, that's wrong. Well, you know what? It cleans better than brake cleaner or carb cleaner. A body shop ain't gonna do that. They're just gonna grind it and put whatever I mean, yeah, they probably weld this, but they wouldn't tell you to get a new door. Why do that? You know, as a matter of fact, if I wanted to, I could just put chassis saver on the inside and rubberized undercoating, and whatever rust was on the outside, it would stay that way. Because like whatever rust is happening from the inside out. So this is basically like a cosmetic thing, but it's not going to bubble up because, like I said, it's not plastic, it's not Tiger Hairs, it's not freaking Bondo Glass. It's panel adhesive, man. That shit is like, that stuff gets on here. It's freaking good. So we're going to hammer this in a little bit. mix up a bunch of panel adhesive. I got more on order. Whatever I got left, like I think I got almost maybe close to a half a tube, goes right over that, and then we put the masking tape on it. And by the way, to give you an idea about the flex, now this panel adhesive is more flexible because it's probably like, 85 degrees out here. But see this? Did it crack? Right? Try doing that with Duraglass or Bondo. Or Bondo, you definitely want to use Bondo. But even like the resin gel, the gel will crack. This panel adhesive, I mean, it's not as flexible as I'm showing here because it was a cold temperature, this would crack. But this, even in this warm temperature, no way in hell. See that? This is the black panel adhesive that's on the squeegee. Yet it sticks a lot freaking better than even JB Weld. It's stronger than JB Weld. It's got more flexibility. I think there's some areas it's not good for. I don't know what. Maybe high heat, like real high heat. You see that? That's been on here dry now like over 24 hours, so it's totally hardened. So it's hard as a rock, yet it's flexible. Like I can't dig my nail into it or nothing, right? So that's the difference between that panel adhesive 3M part number 08115. Problem is it's expensive, but then look how much time you save. If you're doing some little bullshit like that, that should fill in that crap, no problem. That's not overdoing it with that, because it's made for joining panels. It's made for putting door skins on. You're supposed to crimp the door skin, put it over the edge over here, and just it's actually better than welding it because it's more rust proof. Anyway, yeah, when I store this panel adhesive, even though it's in two parts and it doesn't harden until the parts are mixed, I keep it in double plastic bags, one plastic bag and another one sealed, so it should keep it from screwing up. And you got these little rods you press. Now what's supposed to happen with this is you're supposed to put it in a special applicator gun. I think the gun maybe cost maybe $65 now. It used to be $100. I'm not going to buy it because you got to watch, you got to clean the gun and all this kind of crap. I mix it, but you got to mix it very thoroughly. Even though it has like a white and a black part to it, two parts, it doesn't come out gray like JB Weld. It looks black. It's sort of like a translucent white. So it's difficult to see how well you have it mixed. So mix the crap out of it, but you got a lot more working time with this stuff, though. That's the other thing. Looks like there's about only about a third of the bottle left. You can see from that length to that length, maybe even less than that. So we'll see how far this goes. But even like okay, so this cost, okay, I got it for $36 delivered. Usually it's a little more than that. But let's see what even like 25 to 30%, whatever, a quarter to a third of a bottle, how far it goes on something. It goes pretty far, you'd be surprised, especially if you apply it right and use this masking tape over it after you apply it. It gives a nice smooth finish, holds it in place, because this stuff is going to be running for hours. It's not like Bondo or plastic or Duraglass where it hardens up pretty quick. It's like you got to hold it in place. And this stuff I found with the glue on this tape, it just peels right the hell off. As long as it doesn't get wet later in the rain or something, it peels right the hell off. Actually, it seemed like there was quite a bit in here, so I'm going to start mixing it. Now you notice like when I'm mixing it, it still looks black. That's why you're going to have to mix the hell out of this stuff when you're not using the applicator gun. And you really should use two squeegees, one to mix, one to apply. But the way I mix is I use the edge of the squeegee and I get it all on here. Just get it off, completely off the squeegee. I mix the shit out of it, so I only use one squeegee. I'm okay. That did a pretty good job of covering it, and you can see it's starting to run out. So what I got to do is put some tape over it, and that'll hold it in place. Okay, so now the tape is going to hold that stuff in place, so it'll give it a pretty smooth finish. Actually, it won't require that much sanding. Of course, it's going to require a little Bondo over it, but again, the panel adhesive is totally impervious to water. So if you put Bondo over it, it doesn't get at the back of it. It can't get through the back. There's a little hole right there. It still didn't get quite sealed, but again, like I I should have done that over that too. You see how smooth it is over here where I put the tape, you know? So what I can also do, which I'm thinking about probably getting another tube of it besides the one I just have in order, is because back here I don't really feel like taking off this bumper. I could put a plate right over this. I can grind this down even with the Dremel, get in here with the Dremel, chemically clean it, dimple it in a little bit, and glue one of those plates on there with chassis saver on the opposite side, but not where the glue is, the actual panel adhesive, because it's not going to come off of this. This is not structural, it'll just be a little patch panel. And then when I take this light out, when I'm doing it, I can get behind it with stuff to coat it with, whether it's rust converting primer and good quality rubberized undercoating, and I'm done. You know, I could do that side and this side, so that's making it go a lot faster for me. So I want to get, because I want to get this thing down on the ground, I got to take some branches over there because I use this damn thing. This is not like a show car. And next I'm going to be working on the Dukes of Hazzard Dixie horn today. So I think I got some room under the hood here. I was looking at it last night and I was looking at the instructions. It looks fairly easy. You can put it right over there. So that'll be a separate video coming up. Again, that's the stuff, man. I use this stuff. I use this stuff extensively for repairing all kinds of junk, actually, to tell you the truth. A lot more money than JB Weld, and with the sun pretty much on this, I don't think it'll even take 24 hours for this shit to dry, but I don't have any more, so the rest of it's coming in Monday. So, working on the air horns.